Important topic. So there is breaking news now from the Federal Appeals Court that has now ruled that former President Donald Trump does not have immunity. This in the January 6th matter that deals directly with the special prosecutor Jack Smith. The decision marks the second time in as many months that judges have turned away Trump. Now, the trial had been set for March, but it was postponed about a week ago, and the judge did not set a new date. Whether that changes, we do not know. But you can expect appeals from the Republican nominee leader that ultimately could reach the U.S. Supreme Court. Jonathan Turley with us now. Sir, if you can hear me okay, does this surprise you, yes or no?
No, this is the result that some of us predicted. The panel was very skeptical of these arguments. What former President Trump was advancing was a sweeping and unprecedented claim of immunity. And it's not surprising that this panel rejected it. The interesting thing about this opinion is that they cite the impeachment and quote from it as saying that the president sought to incite this effort to overturn the election. And that's going to go now forward. The most practical impact of this appeal was indeed the delay that it caused. It was very important for the Trump team to try to push this trial back. They succeeded in doing that, as you mentioned. Now, the next stage here is that they can ask for review of the entire court in what's called an en-banc petition. That has to be reviewed and voted on, even if they reject it, and that'll take some time. And then they will no doubt appeal to the Supreme Court, which now has a considerable stack on the desks of these justices, including election-related cases.
Jonathan, if you're like in an emergency room, they have triage and the most serious cases go to the top. Is that how the Supreme Court would consider these cases?
Yeah, well, it's very interesting. It's an excellent question, Dana. The interesting dynamic about this case is that Jack Smith has been telling every court it's absolutely urgent that we move this trial forward. And he was made it clear that he wants this president tried and convicted before the election. The Supreme Court clearly didn't share that urgency. It refused to do that. And so it's not clear that they're going to feel even greater urgency now. The March date is not on the calendar anymore. And as we move towards the election date, it gets more controversial to have a trial of this kind within a couple of months of the election. Yeah. So we'll have to see how the Supreme Court deals with this. The outcome is not surprising for many of us, but what remains the unknown is how this will change the schedule and dynamic of the case.
Mm-hmm. Just to keep the flow chart going here, aren't we 48 hours away from oral arguments before the High Court on a different matter? And that is the Colorado ballot decision, where a group of unelected judges decided to keep Trump off the ballot? That's Thursday, right?
Yeah, we are. And that's going to be a huge case. Many of us believe the court is going to set aside the Colorado decision. The question is whether the three justices on the left will join in what most of us hope will be a rejection of Colorado. This is a very dangerous theory that recently came into vogue. I don't believe that it's well-founded historically or textually. But the question for Chief Justice Roberts is likely to be whether he can eke out a unanimous decision. Because if the court ever spoke with one voice, this is that moment. This is the moment the court's designed for. And so the court's going to look at three questions. And I think Roberts is going to try to hone the questions to try to garner that type of broader support.
Was there a better legal argument that the Trump team could have put forward in this case?
Well, they went for the whole Megillah here. I mean, it was very surprising because the question of presidential immunity has been batted around in the Supreme Court for decades. The most important period involved President Richard Nixon. And the court did recognize presidential immunity, but it also had some caveats, and we saw those exceptions come to bear. For example, Bill Clinton lost another sweeping argument over immunity. And what the panel here is saying is that it just won't go there. It's not going. It basically said, look, whatever immunity you had as president, you don't have it as a citizen, and so you are now Donald Trump, not President Donald Trump, and we're not going to extend this immunity to you. They'll get a lot of support for that. The question, however, is whether the opinion goes too far on the edges. That could cause concern for some on the Supreme Court. They may want to tack back a little, even if they ultimately ultimately accept the conclusion.
Well, sir, thank you for jumping on the phone here. Stand by one moment. We're going to the DOJ and David Spunt to get more on this. And David, what do you have from there?
We are waiting some reaction from Jack Smith's team to see if the special counsel is weighing in. This is clearly a win for him, a unanimous decision, as Professor Turley was just discussing with you. This is a 57-page order. It was argued, this issue of presidential immunity, before the Circuit Court of Appeals back on January 9th. Almost 1 month later, we are getting this order today. So we thought there may have been some sort of internal argument perhaps between the three justices that heard this specific case. But on page 57, it ends with, quote, "Finally, we are unpersuaded by his argument," meaning Donald Trump's argument, "that this prosecution is barred by, quote, double jeopardy principles. Accordingly, the order of the district court is affirmed." Now, the district court ruling that Trump is not immune from any sort of prosecution here. And this just begs the question, Bill and Dana, when Donald Trump will go to trial. The trial was scheduled here to begin in Washington, D.C. On March 4th. That has essentially stopped since mid-December to allow the Trump team to prepare for this. Now that the U.S. Court of Appeals has ruled against the former president, he has the right to take this to the Supreme Court. From what we understand, he has up to 90 days. So it's likely he will wait until that point. But I'm also told by sources in Jack Smith's office, I was told a couple of weeks ago, that it's likely that the special counsel will try to get this expedited to the Supreme Court because he wants to get this back on track as soon as possible.
Okay,
Bill,
thank you. It's breaking news. David Spunt, Jonathan Turley, thanks to both of you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.